What's up, guys? So today we're talking about the Cheerios cents. So what we have here are two US cents, and I may make a whole other video. Obviously we call these things pennies, but America actually never made a penny. It might be good for another whole video. But anyway, so this one was a promotional thing that was done for the year 2000. So if you're younger watching this video, if you were born, you know, in the late 90s, or, you know, if you were too little to remember the turn of the millennium, it was a big deal. It was a huge deal. People were freaking out because all the calendars on computers and stuff didn't go past, 2000. And I remember specifically New Year's Eve being with my friend Chris at his house. We had a sleepover and we had a lot of fun, and we thought that the world was going to end. Like literally when it hit midnight, we were looking outside the windows for like a light to sweep across the nation and everything to just turn to dust. It was seriously a weird time because no one knew what was going to happen, and clearly nothing happened. That's all, just the clocks changed. But as far as like literally computer software, people scrambled to try to update all that stuff and figure things out before the new year. So what ended up happening was the U.S. Mint decided to have a giant campaign with Cheerios or General Mills or wherever, I forget who owns Cheerios. I think it's General Mills, right? And they put out the first pennies for the millennium. Now I'm going to use the words cents and pennies interchangeably because as an American who grew up in America, these were pennies. As a coin collector now, as an adult, these are cents. They're interchangeable. Again, that'll be for a whole nother video. But yeah, so it was a cool idea. Someone said, hey, these are the first pennies being made for the brand new 2000, and it's going to be really cool. So the U.S. Mint produced 10 million of these, 10 million of what we're looking at here, and sent them off to General Mills, and they put these inside of cereal boxes for Cheerios. And in addition to the cents, they also put 5,500 of the gold Sacagawea dollar coins, right? So you had one of three things when you opened the year 2000 Cheerios box in the new year. You could have got just this penny. You could have got a penny and a Sacagawea dollar, or there were other boxes that also had a certificate, and the certificate was a voucher or a promise to exchange for $100 in Sacagawea dollars. So either you won $100 or you won a dollar penny, $1, or you just got a penny. Most of them obviously were a penny, right? It was actually one in every 2,000 boxes that got the penny and the dollar, right? So for every 2,000 of these, there's one person who happened to get the dollar and the penny. And then it was one in every 4,400 boxes that got the voucher for the $100. So they were pretty rare. And all these years later, the Cheerios penny or the Cheerios cent is still pretty rare. Even though there's 10 million of them, most people opened a box of Cheerios, didn't even care about it, took it out of this package, put it in their little purses and wallets or whatever, and used it, or piggy banks, whatever they did. They didn't care. It wasn't a big deal. In fact, even today, like these pennies, if you take this out of the packaging, there's no way to know that it was a Cheerios cent, just because it's not distinguishable. It is just a penny from the year 2000 made in the Philadelphia Mint. Now, the Philadelphia Mint does not have a mint mark on here. It's actually pretty interesting. I'll show you something else that I learned too. So we look at the penny, you see the year 2000, and there's nothing below it. The mint, if it was made somewhere else, would have a letter underneath it, right? But Philadelphia, they did not put the mint mark. Even though this is every single one of the 10 million cents were made in the Philadelphia Mint, if you look at the background of this packaging, like this penny here, shows an S from the San Francisco Mint. And not a single one was actually made at the San Francisco Mint. So that's kind of a weird, random, I guess, mistake they made. So yeah, so I picked these two up probably 8 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that, from an antique shop. I was at an antique shop. I was looking in, one of their coin cases, whatever. I saw these. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. They were asking, I think it was $12 for both of these. So 12 for two. So they're $6 each, which is actually a good deal. On the low end, you could find these on eBay for like 10, 15 bucks, all the way up to maybe $30. That's what this value is for the penny in this packaging. So first of all, on the front, you see Cheerios. We see the dollar, Sacagawea dollars, and the pennies is all sprawled around the background. It says 1 out of 10,000 first minted year 2000 coins. On the back, certificate of authenticity says this is to certify that the United States Mint at its Philadelphia, Pennsylvania facility, the largest coin manufacturing plant in the world, produced the enclosed coins. Your 2000 dated coin is one of the first 10 million to be produced by the Mint and has been packaged by Cheerios as a special memento of the new millennium. All right, and then you have a spot here for, you know, some kind of event. So when I got these things, I had the intention of just keeping them as is. At some point, if you're into coins, you'll know that, or maybe you don't know, but a 2000 Philadelphia minted penny or cent has a 10% chance of having a wide AM. What is a wide AM? For non-coin collectors, it's an error. What they did was they used a proof die to make some of the pennies, and when they did, the design on the back, which we can't see here, the design on the back between the A and the M it's just further apart. That's all, on 2 letters. It's like the tiniest little thing. If you're not into coins, you'd be like, well, who cares? What's the big deal? Well, it was a mistake. And when they mess up and make mistakes on coins, it's worth a lot of money. Sometimes it's not worth much money, but it's always more valuable than what the coin is itself, right? So a wide AM penny in just run-of-the-mill condition still sells for about 30 bucks. And if it's in really good condition, it could be a couple $100, it could be $1,000, it could be, you know, 1,000 plus. Just depends. The condition means everything with coins. So I debated, should I open these up? I have a 10% chance on each one of getting a wide AM. And I turned my about $15 to $20, you know, valuable coin into a $30 plus coin, right? Then I thought, nah, because if I ever get these graded, I have to keep them in the packages, right? So if you send this coin, if you take this coin out and send it to the Mint and say, this is a Cheerios coin, they'll send it back to you. Not the Mint, excuse me, one of the grading services like PCGS or NGC or something like that. They need this packaging to show as genuine from this particular, event, I guess let's call it, right? So if I were to send these in to get graded, even if they get run-of-the-mill, you know, uncirculated, or maybe like an MS61 or something like that, they're still going to be worth like 50 bucks, right? However, if the condition of these are even higher, like the highest one I think that was on record of being sold was it was an MS68 red. Red just means, you know, the color, it's a brilliant red, copper color. But an MS68, Mint State 68. So a perfect coin with no flaws, no scratches, no smudges, nothing, is a Mint State 70. That is a perfect coin. And Mint State 68 is pretty close. So that means it might have a tiny little scratch somewhere or a tiny little imperfection or whatever. Those pennies sold between $3,000 and $3,700. Now, they didn't treat these particularly special. They took regular pennies, they made them, they slapped them in this package, and that was it. So most of these are just run-of-the-mill. They're uncirculated, but they're nothing special. They're not like super, super great condition. But you never really know. And because these are in plastic, I can't even look and see, because if there's a scratch or something, you don't know if it's in the plastic or if it's in the coin. So for me, I'm going to hang on to these. Eventually, in the future, I would love to send these in for grading. I have a bunch of coins I like to send in for grading, but when you get a coin graded, it's a process, it costs money, it's a long turnaround time. It's just something I always was interested in doing, but never really pulled the trigger on yet. I would say in the future, down the road, when I have time and money to do so, I would very much like to send a bunch of coins in to get looked at and graded, because they can change the value of those particular coins tremendously. They can turn, you know, a $20 coin you'd sell raw, you know, into hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. You never really know, right? Sometimes you send a coin in to be graded that you think is awesome, and it comes back as nothing special or cleaned or damaged, or, you know, like, you could be surprised, you know. But anyway, I just want to talk about this a little bit. Now, the Sacagawea dollar, that's a whole different ball of wax. The pennies are cool, but the Cheerios dollar coin is seriously worth a lot of money. And the way to determine that, it doesn't have to be in the packaging. If it's in the packaging, it's even better. I would never touch it. I would send it in to get graded 100%. But if the regular Sacagawea dollars, they were also commonly taken out of the package and just used because it was a full dollar. You know, you have to think about this. In the year 2000, what's a box of Cheerios cost? $2, $2.50, maybe $3 at most. You know, it's probably more like $1.50, a regular size, you know, thing of Cheerios. $1.50 to $2, who knows? You could probably look it up. So you have to imagine, you know, if you opened your box of Cheerios and you had a full dollar in there, that's significant. People took that, like pennies they didn't care about. You take a penny out, you throw it across the table or give it to your kid to play with. You know, like people drop pennies at the store, they don't even pick them up. It's whatever, right? But a dollar, that's a whole different thing psychologically. A buck is a lot of money, right? So those were very commonly spent. Whereas some people saved the pennies, they didn't really care. A lot of people, most people took the dollars. Now, even if they took the dollar out of the package and they used it and ended up in circulation, you could still tell because the design is slightly different. Let me pull up a picture of this. I obviously don't have the coin to show you, but let me show you what it looks like. The tail feathers on the back of the bird on the coin have more detail in it, and that's how you know it's a Cheerios Sacagawea dollar. All right, so on a regular Sacagawea on the back, that's what the tail feathers look like. On the Cheerios one, there's more detail. You see these extra little lines, those angled lines? That's the difference. That's the difference between having $1 and having $8,000 or $6,000 or $10,000. Again, depends on the condition. So yeah, that's a whole different thing. If you want to do coin hunting and you want to try to find the Cheerios Sacagawea dollar, you can go to the bank, just get a whole case of dollar coins and just flip through them. It's a little boring because there's not a whole. There's other presidential dollars and Sacagawea dollars that are worth money. There's like errors and stuff. Plus, you know, you get some Susan B. Anthony's in the mix, and some of those that have like the wide rim. Those are worth a couple more, you know, dollars than a regular, you know, dollar. So, I mean, that's a whole different thing, but there's just, I don't know, it's less exciting to me to look for that because it's just so incredibly rare you're going to find it, but you never know. If you do find that, it's just fantastic. It's not going to maybe change your life, but to find, you know, a $6,000 coin at your bank, that's pretty darn fun. And as a coin collector, that's hitting treasure. That is like the coup de grace. You know what I mean? You can find all kinds of cool stuff in coin hunting, but that thing is it. That's what everyone would love to just randomly come across, right? So yeah, so basically what I'm saying to everyone out there is this is a little piece of history. It's coin history, but it's also pop culture history because in the year 2000, if you guys are, and please comment down below if you're old enough to remember, do you remember going to the store and it's the year 2000 and you go to grab your box of Cheerios you normally buy and hey, this one has money in it. That's cool. Comment down below. Did you know? Because no one at the time knew these would have any value in the future. It was just like, oh, I got a little penny in my thing. Oh, cool, a little memento. Oh, I got $1. That's awesome. I got some money off. I'll go spend that at the store. I'll give it to the bank and get, you know, a paper dollar or whatever. So let me know, did you get, it'd be really interesting if anyone you remembers, yeah, I got the chair. Oh yeah, I did get the $1 and I spent it. Well, damn, that's a tough one to swallow because at the time, I remember these being advertised. I do not remember not only not getting $1, but not even getting the pennies. I recall this being a thing. I do not recall actually getting these like when it was happening in 2000. At the time, I wasn't into coins, didn't care about it. Who cares? Well, I got a penny in my box of cereal. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As a coin collector now, I definitely care. But back then, whatever. I was a kid. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the story on the Cheerios cent, right? And the Cheerios Sacagawea dollar. So if you happen to be coin hunting, these you can't find. You will never know if they were in these packages originally or not. But you can look for the wide AM. You can Google that to see what that's like. But more so, if you happen to see you have a Sacagawea gold dollar from the year 2000 from the Philadelphia Mint, you might want to flip it over and get a magnifying glass and look at those tail feathers because you never know. You might be holding $1 in your hand, probably, but you might be holding a very rare coin that a lot of people want. So I'll leave it with that. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.